gospel of Jesus Christ, transforming lives, renewing hearts 24/7, 7 days a week. Internet radio in a class by itself. We're flashing the gospel around the world as a witness. And someone will say, you know what? I heard it on Flashpoint Radio, and my life has been changed. Flashpoint in a class by itself.
And welcome everyone. It's another beautiful, wonderful Wednesday, and we welcome you once more. Thank you for inviting us into your spaces, into your living room, into your cars, into wherever space you are. We are certainly happy that you have decided to join us, whether you have chosen to join us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whichever mode on our web radio. Welcome. I'm Lady Elise, and of course, I am joining the one and only Mikey G.
Well, I want to say for our web radio, www.flashpointmedia.ky. Our web radio continues to play all day. If you joined me earlier on this morning from 6:30 a.m., and of course, Lady Elise and CoraleeKaren, of course, this morning you'd have a wonderful time. You'd have had a wonderful time so far. And of course, we are actually doing our live stream now. And of course, our Instagram page and our YouTube and Facebook, as Lady Elise says. And of course, this morning we want to bring to you some health tips and advice, of course, news and more. Of course, our devotional comes up next, of course, when we come back.
Looking to build your dream home or renovate your space? M&M Construction is the perfect place. We bring your vision to life with precision and quality craftsmanship. From design to construction, we guide you every step, ensuring seamless coordination and superior results. Our professional roof inspection and maintenance services will ensure that your roof is sturdy this hurricane season. So, if you are ready to start your construction journey, call us today at 345-927-7509. Build with confidence. Build with M&M Construction. 345-927-7509.
Good morning. This is day 3. Your brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found. Luke chapter 15 verse 32. Coming Full Circle, written by Dennis Fisher. In his fascinating book, Orthodoxy, G.K. Chesterton tells how he left what he thought was the Christian faith, only to find the real thing later in life. To illustrate his spiritual journey, Chesterton describes the absurd scene of planting the flag of the British Empire on a foreign island, but then discovering it's actually the coast of England. Raised in a lifeless Christian church, Chesterton had left his nominal faith, but later he began to doubt the atheistic assumptions that had led to his unbelief. He discovered the truth he had missed before. The new country was really home after all. Jesus told a story about a young man who left home but later discovered its value. In the parable of the prodigal son, The youngest son asked for his share of his father's estate. Wandering far from home, he set no limits on his continuous partying. But his self-indulgent lifestyle caught up with him and he became a pauper. Finally, he went back home and confessed his sin. Life's painful consequences had forced him to return to a loving father. At times, we all feel the tendency to wander from the one who redeemed us. Our loving Father is watching and waiting for our return. In what way have you wandered from the truth? Do you know someone who is wandering from God? Are you watching and praying for that person? Our quote this morning reads, "It's never too soon to come home to God." End quote.
You're listening to Flashpoint, the family radio.
Cool on your body any day, anytime. I cool water on the front line. Drop it on the beat, this a I cool time. Tell it to the world, it's a one that I feel reach worldwide.
I cool water helps me stay cool, cause I drink cool. I cool water, I cool water, feel like water helps me stay cool, cause I drink cool. I cool water, feel life.
Lasco One and Up now has ARA, DHA, and prebiotics. It's a new, smarter formula. The time by Lasco One and Up is...
The time by Lasco One and Up is 7:49 in the AM right here in the Grand Cayman Islands. And time for our news.
Good morning, Cayman. It is Wednesday, the 3rd of December, and these are the news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. I'm CoraleeKaren. Bird flu detected in Cayman. Risk to public remains low. Health officials are reassuring the public that the risk from avian influenza remains low following the confirmation of H5N1 bird flu in turkeys found on a farm on Cemetery Road. A multi-agency team has isolated the site after further tests identified 7 additional infected birds. No human cases have been detected in the Cayman Islands. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hilary Wolf is urging the public to avoid contact with wild or sick birds, including feral chickens. Anyone possibly exposed is already receiving preventative antiviral medication. Symptoms to watch for include fever, cough, sore throat, congestion, breathing difficulties, and red eyes. Residents experiencing symptoms after exposure are advised to contact public health. Officials stress that proper hygiene and safe food handling, including thoroughly cooking poultry and eggs, remain strong protection. Police road safety lessons should start in childhood. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service says road safety education must begin in primary school if the country is to curb the rising number of collisions. Sergeant Jodianne Horry reports 2,300 traffic collisions so far this year, up 4% over last year, and says drunk driving remains a major concern with 23 arrests in October alone. Horry says the traffic unit is under-resourced, but the biggest solution lies with the public, a cultural shift and personal accountability. She's calling for tougher penalties for dangerous driving, noting that the UK imposes up to life imprisonment in similar cases. The RCIPS continues to support responsible drinking campaigns, including the Purple Ribbon Pledge during the festive season. Students excel at Minds-inspired Maths Challenge. 75 students from public and private schools took part in the 13th annual Minds-inspired Maths Challenge hosted by DART. In the junior division, Haris Ahmed of Cayman Prep and High School was named overall winner, while St. Ignatius Catholic School won the junior school team event. Senior winner Jake Fagan, also from Cayman Prep and a DART scholar, took the top spot in the upper division. Organizers say the event helps build critical thinking, teamwork, and resilience, preparing students for future careers in high-demand STEM fields. Martin Bold releases autobiography ahead of 80th birthday. Renowned adventurer and philanthropist Martin Boyd has published his autobiography More Than Just the Climb just weeks before turning 80. The book chronicles nearly 60 years in the Cayman Islands and his travels to more than 120 countries. Bold, honored both by the late Queen Elizabeth II and the Cayman Islands government, says writing the book was cathartic and captures key moments in the country's development. The book is available at Book Nook and Bold Consulting in the Genesis building. Caribbean Airlines to drop Tortola and Puerto Rico routes. Caribbean Airlines has announced it will end its Tortola and San Juan routes effective January 10, 2026, following a review of route performance. Customers with bookings past that date will receive full refunds. As part of a wider restructuring, CAL will also adjust operations at its Barbados hub, repositioning aircraft and crew to Trinidad. The airline says the move is aimed at improving schedule reliability and long-term sustainability. Haiti moves closer to first election since 2016. Haiti's Transitional Presidential Council has approved a long-awaited electoral law paving the way for the first general election in nearly a decade. The Provisional Electoral Council plans to hold the first round of voting in August, with a final round in December, although continued gang violence could cause delays. The Traditional Council is expected to step down by February 7th next year to make way for democratic leadership. Antigua hosts Nuclear Material Reporting Conference. Antigua and Barbuda is hosting a regional conference on strengthening nuclear material inventory reporting under the Small Quantities Protocol, which applies to states with little or no nuclear material. The event, supported by the IAEA and US partners, focuses on improving technical capacity and ensuring compliance with international non-proliferation obligations. St. Lucia Prime Minister secures second term. St. Lucia's Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, has won a second term after a decisive victory at the polls. His St. Lucia Labour Party captured 14 of 15 seats in Parliament. Regional leaders, including Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness and opposition leader Mark Golding, congratulated Pierre and pledged continued support within CARICOM. And those were your morning news update. Please continue to stay tuned for more local, regional, and international coverage throughout the day.
cool on your body any day, anytime. I cool water on the front line. Jump it on the beat, this a I cool time. Tell it to the world, it's a one that I feel reach worldwide.
I cool water helps me stay cool, cause I drink cool. I cool water, I cool water, feel like water helps me stay cool, cause I drink cool. I cool water, feel life.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit. When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
We are joined by our physician, Dr. K. Now, she has been preparing us for this conversation that we are going to have today, Mikey G. And if you have been following the breakfast hour, you know each and every week she keeps it real and relevant. Of course, this disease is not something that we are so happy to be talking about. Unfortunately, the cases have risen since the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Why is it relevant? Now we have thousands of persons who reside in Jamaica and another thousands of persons going as part of the relief efforts. What do you need to know about leptospirosis? You have come to the right place at the right time. Dr. K will be delving deep into this subject this morning.
Of course, Lady Elise, I just listened to a release from the Cayman Islands that they are going to be looking at persons traveling to and from Jamaica. And of course, leptospirosis is on the top of the list of persons that will be checked in some way or another. So this is important. Of course, when we come back, we'll have some more to tell you about this disease. Of course, welcome back. It's another Wellness Wednesday, and of course, Dr. K has joined us once again for this morning's experience. As I said, it is something that is on the top of everybody's chart of diseases right now. Leptospirosis, since the Melissa event in Jamaica, has been the number one disease that everyone is talking about. Ladies.
Yes, so Dr. K, we want to welcome you back. Of course, we welcome you with your many years of experience. And we do appreciate that you keep the subject and the topics quite relevant. Now, leptospirosis, what do we need to know about this disease? Tell us about it, Dr. K.
Okay, yes. The last time we were here, we were talking about how to stay safe after a major event. And we talked about wearing protective gears and making sure we protect ourselves from bacteria or harmful products when it comes on to cleaning up in the aftermath of a storm. And leptospirosis was one of the infections that we alluded to, and we said we're going to be speaking more about it, and here it is, that leptospirosis now has become an issue after Hurricane Melissa. In fact, going to the statistics, it says since November 26th, that was last week, there are 39 suspected cases of leptospirosis, with 10 suspected deaths and 6 confirmed deaths in Jamaica following the hurricane. And this is important because, as we spoke before, we talked about the bacteria. So leptospirosis is caused by a bacteria, which is called leptospira. Basically, the bacteria gets into water or food and contaminate the food. Now, we said that leptospirosis can be, you can get leptospirosis if you're exposed to this contaminated water through your mouth, through your nose, through your eyes, or if there's any break in your skin. So
your eyes, Dr. K?
Absolutely, your eyes. So people who are swimming in infected water, the bacteria can go through the mucous membranes in the eyes, and you can actually get infected. Can go through the mucous membranes in your nose, you can ingest it in your mouth, or if there's any break at all in your skin. And that is why people have to clean up at the end of a storm, of course, but they should wear protective gear. And if they have large breaks on their skin, wounds, they should avoid contaminated water. And if they have to go into the water, make sure that these wounds are covered, bandages on these wounds to prevent the exposure to this contaminated water. As I said before, it's not just the bacteria in the water from the animal pee, but there are animals that have died that might have been infected with leptospirosis that will be in the water to contaminate the water. So touching dead animals that may be contaminated, or even touching dead animals at all, should be done cautiously with protective gear. So you need to wear gloves, or you need to wear protective gear if you're going to be handling animals or even contaminated water. Or even, we don't know if the water is contaminated, but assume that after a flood, because of all the different things that's happening in the water, assume the water is contaminated. So do not drink the water, do not swim in the water, and try not to go in the water as much as possible without protective gear. So we talked about leptospirosis. So leptospirosis basically is a disease that usually is transmitted from animals to humans. So we call it a zoonotic disease. So it's from animals to humans. So if we eat infected animals, or we get exposed to infected animals, or we eat food that the animal has peed on or contaminated, whether it's water or food, then we're at risk for getting leptospirosis.
So Dr. K, once it gets to the human, then can it be transmitted from human to human?
And that's an excellent question, a very good question. The answer I would say is really no. Usually it's not usually transmitted from humans to humans. There have been a few cases where, and it's very, very rare, that leptospirosis has been transmitted from human to human through sexual intercourse and breast milk. That's the only studies that have been available based on transmission of leptospirosis from human to human. But as I say, I would say no because it is so rare.
You,
Very rare.
you spoke about the idea of animals transmitting the transmission from animals to humans. And of course, this is not the first time I'm hearing about this transmission from animals to humans. In our latest episode of COVID-19, we remember that it was from bats that this disease that was transmitted from the bats to human beings, and so we are infected by it. And of course, I also listened to the story about the monkeys being affected with or have the virus, and people actually eat the monkey back in Africa, and so people get AIDS and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if those are really so, but I'm listening to those stories, and because I hear of the COVID-19 story, I know about the leptospirosis and rats can actually transmit it from themselves to humans. I'm just wondering about the monkey case as well, you know.
Okay, so yes, animals do transmit leptospirosis. So they can transmit it to other animals and then from animals to humans. Now the thing about leptospirosis, basically I told you how you can get leptospirosis, but basically it takes after about 2 days to a few days, say 2 to 10 days after being exposed, you can get the illness. Now, the illness of leptospirosis tends to be basically like a viral illness, right? So there are basically the two phases. The first phase is where you have the acute phase where the bacteria goes into your bloodstream. So if it goes into your mouth or into wherever, to your skin, to your eyes, it's going into your bloodstream and you're going to be fighting this bacteria. So you're going to be getting a high fever. You can get the fatigue, the headache, the chills, the rigors, the muscle ache, just like when you're having the flu. Initially, you may not know that you're having leptospirosis. In the event that we're having a case of an epidemic or an outbreak of leptospirosis, then you might suspect, because of course there's leptospirosis awareness. But in the case where there wasn't and you're not sure, and you're not somebody who is a farmer or exposed to animals in that way, or even you don't think that you have rats at home, then you might not know that you have leptospirosis. But initially, leptospirosis can resolve, or it can resolve on its own, or you can think it resolves and then later on you can become ill again.
But when do you know that you need to get medical attention? At what stage? Because as you mentioned, if it starts and you're feeling like you have the flu and you're taking the flu bomb and you're taking your Panadol and you're doing all that you know that you ought to do to take care of your immune system to fight the flu, when do you know that it's time for you to see the physician?
Okay, so you're going to be having the abdominal pain, the vomiting, and the diarrhea. You're using symptomatic therapy. You're trying to get the fever down. You're trying to hydrate, but the symptoms are not getting any better. And then it's just going on, and then you notice that there's yellowing. Or you have a rash and there's yellowing of the eyes, yellowing of the mouth, yellowing of the mucosa, yellowing of the fingers. Then you know definitely something is happening here, and this is more like a leptospirosis, and you need to get medical attention.
When this yellowing starts, Dr. K, what is affected why you become so yellow?
Okay, so yellowing is because of jaundice. Okay, so let's go through what's causing it. So the first phase, right, is where you have yellowing. Okay, so once you break down your red blood cells, right, the red blood cells consist of hemoglobin, and so you have heme and globin. Okay, so when you break that down, you're producing more of the bilirubin or the heme products, which is going to make everything yellow. Because, and the thing about it is that usually when you break it down to an extent, so let me explain. So what happens is that you have the second phase of leptospirosis, which we call the immune phase. That's when the bacteria itself goes into your organ and starts damaging your organs.
Okay, so it damages your liver, it damages your kidneys and other things. So remember, your liver is the one that clears the bilirubin and clears the bilirubin, basically what causes the jaundice. It clears it from the body. But if it's not working and your kidneys not working, it's not cleared, so it's going to stay in your mucous membrane because there's too much in your body and can cause additional damage and can actually go to the brain and cause damage to the brain.
Wow. Wow.
So yes, so,
Wow.
so the yellowing of the skin is because of jaundice, and that's because of breaking down of the red blood cells. Now you start to having. So once you have that bleeding inside the body, you're going to be coughing up blood. You can be passing blood in your urine, blood in your stool, okay? And then you have severe yellowing of the eyes. So the mild yellow, baby just born and they say your baby look yellow. And so you need to sun your baby. Now this one gets really yellow, like bright yellow. Yeah, that's really bad. That's severe yellowing of the skin.
So is there any way that you can halt the stage so it does not progress to the other stage? So you catch it in the first stage, you boost your immune system, and you don't even know that you had leptospirosis.
And the truth is that initially a lot of persons who get leptospirosis, because their immune system is working and they're treating their symptoms, they resolve with just symptomatic therapy, hydration, rest, fluid intake. They resolve, boosting your immune system. They resolve on their own. So not every case of leptospirosis will cause death. Not every case of leptospirosis will be severe. The majority of cases are mild.
Question for me is,
Okay.
Dr. K.
And so and 1 second, Mikey G. And even when you go to your doctor will send you home. Not everybody needs to be hospitalized. So you might be sent home so if your doctor is suspecting that you have leptospirosis, they will give you antibiotics against the bacteria, and then they will treat you with trying to get the fever down, muscle ache, something for the pain. But the heralding thing is getting antibiotics. And so the majority of persons who get leptospirosis get antibiotics and go home, because remember, the leptospira is a bacteria, so the treatment for bacteria is antibiotics. And most people are fine that way. So yes, so that is how you prevent it from going severe. Go to your doctor, it's not going away, your doctor will give you antibiotics. It clears it up out of your system and you're good to go. Yes, Mikey.
My question for you, Doc, is the disease being in your system, and if it stays with you as long as you live, or is it something that can be gotten rid of once you're ill, once you get better from it?
Well, usually it's you don't have leptospirosis forever. If you're having leptospirosis forever, it's probably you're going to be dying with leptospirosis, and you died with it, so it's forever. But usually it doesn't.
So it's a cure. It's cure itself, or we are cured from it?
As I say, initially it can be resolved even without antibiotics and with just symptomatic therapy, because your body will fight off the infection. But if the infection gets to the stage, you might need antibiotics to get rid of the bacteria. And as soon as you get rid of the bacteria, you're gone. You form antibodies to it and you get rid of the bacteria, and that's fine. But in the case that it becomes overwhelming, then yes, it can infect your organs and can damage your organs and can cause death. Yes, Lady Elise, you were saying something? You're muted. Not hearing you. So that's what happens. So yes, Mikey G. So what will happen is that you ready now?
I think Lady Elise is able to talk.
Yes. So the question I remember we had a discussion some time ago about diseases of the liver, and you did hepatitis A, B, C, and you touched on leptospirosis. Is it similar to hepatitis in that once you are infected, you are a carrier? Is it a situation that once you have gotten the antibiotics, it's just something that's a part of your medical history, but does not come with you all the days of your life?
Something that's a part of your medical history and doesn't come with you for the rest of your life.
But if you fail to mention it, it'd be okay as well, right?
If you fail to who?
Mention it.
If you fail to mention that, nobody's going to know it because the antibodies are not lifelong.
Amen. All right.
The antibodies are not lifelong. It's not like when you get hepatitis C that the antibodies are there. Hepatitis B, the antibodies are there.
All right. So Dr. K.
So this one is hepatitis A.
It's leptospirosis.
So you're saying it's hepatitis A? Is it would be? You said C and B.
It's leptospirosis.
Okay.
Yes. So you're right, because one is bacterial and one is viral.
Right. So hepatitis B, yes, that's a viral hepatitis, but this is leptospirosis, which is a bacterial infection. Remember, it doesn't affect your liver. The main organ that it affects tend to be your kidneys. Liver can be affected, but yes, it can cause most of what it affects. It goes into your bloodstream initially, as I say to you. Once it goes into your bloodstream, it actually causes damage. When it goes from your bloodstream, if it gets severe, it goes into your organs and damage your organ. And the first organ that it tends to go in really is your kidneys. That's why you pee. That's why for the animals, it's through their pee that you can get. You're more likely to get leptospirosis because the bacteria itself goes through the contaminated pee.
I'm reassured this morning, Dr. K, because when we think of diseases and sometimes when we hear about statistics and declaration of an outbreak, recently in the Cayman Islands there's been conversation about bird flu, and when we hear, we sometimes become so anxious because of course we have been traumatized, we have had pandemics that we have been exposed to, we have lost close relatives and friends, and certainly we would have learned from conversations that we have had before. As Mikey G mentioned earlier, a few years ago when we had the pandemic, we heard of something happening far away, not even close to the Caribbean or close to the US or Canada, but something happened. And pretty soon it was a situation that the entire world experienced. So as we have the conversation, it is important that we recognize that there are so many persons who are on the ground lending assistance, and out of the care and love, sometimes we don't take care. We don't take the precautions that we ought to take. And so the conversation is not isolated, and it's not a conversation we're having because it's another subject or topic to talk about. But we hope that the information that is shared here this morning will be beneficial to you, your relatives, your friends, someone who is going to render care, and a family member who you might need to share and say, be cautious, do this, use protective gear when you're going internally. So the conversation is an important one to have, and I thank you so much, Dr. K, for sharing with us. But I want to ask you this one question. Can you share with the listeners and viewers one takeaway? Not that I want you to wrap up quite yet, but what you want them to learn from the conversation about leptospirosis. Someone who is listening and maybe just a call away from someone in Jamaica or even on the ground there, they have gone down to give care and to volunteer their care as they go. What is it? Because we thought it was only eating the food that was peed on by the rats, but we are learning that there's much more, a wider pool. Yes.
So the takeaway is that in a case where you have a disaster, and usually with water-based disaster, where it's going to be floods or hurricane or anything that's going to have increase the body of water on land, you are at risk for getting not just leptospirosis but other diseases. So if you're going to be volunteering or if you're going to be cleaning up after the storm, you must protect yourself. And that's a takeaway. Assume that everything is contaminated. Just assume that. Whether it's going to be animals, it's going to be the wood, it's going to be everything, wear gloves. Just wear protective gear. Wear your water boots and put on a gown or something, whether it's going to be a raincoat or something, if you are thinking that you are going to be splashed with the water. But make sure you have boots. You can get fungal infections in your feet. You can get bacterial infection. You can get even parasitic infections through your feet if you're not protecting yourself. So, and if you do have wounds, make sure that they're covered. So the takeaway is nothing is wrong and everybody needs help and we need to volunteer or help and we need to give assistance to the persons who really, really need them. But in the event, you have to protect you from all these diseases that are available or that exist because of the disaster, because of the flood water, because it's not the normal day-to-day living. Things have happened and put everybody at risk of getting infected with something.
Wow, Dr. Case has been a morning with a difference. So much information this morning, and of course, for our listeners, yes, Dr. Case.
And just to remember that leptospirosis, even though it can kill, the majority of cases resolve with treatment. The majority of cases.
And I just want to ask you, Dr. K, I asked the question earlier, when do you know, when is the time that you need to see a physician? Can one safely assume that if you're in a household and one member has flu-like symptoms and the other does not have flu-like symptoms, that it possibly could be leptospirosis?
Yes, it is possible. Remember, as I said, everybody's immune system is different. So, I mean, the three of us could be here and we're exposed to the same environment and I get so sick and Mikey G and Lady Elise are fine. They get it, they resolve without even treatment. Yeah, but I'm just saying that, it all depends. So we have to make sure that actually, if the symptoms are going on for a while and you're not resolving, yes, you need to see your doctor. Any symptoms at all, even if you think it's just the flu, and after a few days you're not getting any better, you need to go see your doctor.
And how is it diagnosed, Dr. K? Is it a simple blood test or based on your clinical assessment and stuff?
Well, it will be clinical assessment, but your doctor can check your pee, send your pee off to the lab, and they can do a blood test to check for the bacteria. So you can send the pee or they can do a blood test. So there are both ways they tend to use to diagnose leptospirosis. But I mean, it depends on where you are too. Sometimes they may not have the facility, especially there are areas in Jamaica that you're going to be sending off the pee and the blood and it's going to take days to get back. And if your doctor is suspecting it or you have symptoms or there's any form of jaundice or anything, then your doctor is definitely going to be treating you with antibiotics. Because really and truly, just giving you antibiotics is fine.
And finally, is there I know we have been exposed to some viruses and stuff over the last couple of years. Is there a test kit, so I can order a kit and say, I know these
COVID-19 test kit. This big Q-tip in the nose.
Can you just test it and it says negative, positive?
Like a pregnancy test.
Yes.
I'm really not sure if we have that for leptospirosis, because leptospirosis is not even though it's common worldwide, it's not really that common.
Yes.
It happens in areas. It happens with certain careers, certain environmental issues, or farmers or hunters or whatever else. And it tends to happen in most of the tropical countries where they get a lot of rain. But it's not like a common thing. Like, for example, COVID was worldwide, and you need to get a kit so you can test. But if you're going to areas, for example, that have a wide outbreak of leptospirosis, then you can speak to your doctor, and your doctor can put you on medication that will prevent you. There's prophylaxis for leptospirosis if you're traveling to areas. So it all depends on which areas you're traveling, and if you're not sure, you can get. Unfortunately, there's no vaccine in humans. There are vaccine in animals for leptospirosis, but there's no vaccine in humans, so you just have to take medication just to prevent you from getting leptospirosis if you're going to areas that have an outbreak and you're not sure. For example, all those people who are traveling and they're not sure that they might be exposed because of their volunteering and they're coming in, then they can get medication to prevent them from getting leptospirosis.
Yeah, I was just thinking a while ago.
Helpful.
I was thinking just now. I know what the next epidemic is going to be. Rats.
Say that again.
I said I know what the next epidemic. It was monkeys first for the HIV virus, the AIDS virus, and then it was the what was the next one? Yeah.
Bird flu.
No. They had the rat bat for the.
The monkeys. And
the monkeys for the HIV, the rat bat for the COVID-19 thing, and the coronavirus, and so the next epidemic is definitely going to be the rats.
So you are predicting.
I don't know. I'm just thinking. We just give away a perfect tool to be used for the next one. Thank you, Dr. K.
My takeaway though to Mikey G is how important it is, as Dr. K just reiterated, that we take care of our health. Yes. And we be vigilant, and of course, if you know that you're going to be traveling, it's a trip that you have planned, take that into consideration as well, that you might want to visit your physician and get also medical advice before you go on your trip, and get some prophylaxis, something to prevent the transmission, and of course, practice all those safe habits that Dr. K keep reinforcing, and remember to take care of your immune system. Thank you so much, Dr. K. It has been a beneficial conversation, and I trust our listeners and our viewers that they have gleaned from this information, and we look forward to our next discussion right here on Flashpoint Media. Thank you so much, Dr. K.
I also want to add my code of thanks, of course, when we come back.
To build your dream home or renovate your space, M&M Construction is the perfect place. We bring your vision to life with precision and quality craftsmanship. From design to construction, we guide you every step, ensuring seamless coordination and superior results. Our professional roof inspection and maintenance services will ensure that your roof is sturdy this hurricane season. So, if you are ready to start your construction journey, call us today at 345-927-7509. Build with confidence. Build with M&M Construction. 345-927-7509. When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4, Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Welcome back, Lady Elise. What a morning, I'm telling you, it has been a very, very interesting one.
Yes,
rats
yes.
and more rats.
We give thanks.
You know, when I think about the rats, Lady Elise, I think about those 2-foot rats. COVID-19 rats, Yeah. You were saying.
You know, it's a sad thing to know that persons are, after surviving the monstrous hurricane, the disaster, have to be contending with health issues that threaten to take their lives. Life is it's just like, I don't want to call it a roller coaster, but it's always something that you have to be dealing with.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank the listeners this morning for sticking and staying and listening, and hope that you have learned something that you can share with a neighbor, a friend, and you can also use for yourself. It has been a privilege to be with you, joining you right here in the breakfast hour, and we do look forward to seeing you and spending some more time with you. I just want to share with the listeners as well, Mikey G, very important that I do not forget to share that in our community events,
Yes.
of course, the Cayman Islands Table Tennis Association present a family-friendly social mini tournament, and it's going to be, yes, today, the 3rd of December, 7 p.m. at UCCI, yes, and it's a free registration. You cannot afford to miss that one.
Table tennis. Do you play table tennis, Lady Elise?
I tried my hand for a little bit. I wouldn't say that I am, the best, but I tried my hand on,
Table tennis.
Yeah.
I like to bounce the ball a little bit. I used to be I get a few floggings while I was going to school for leaving class to go play it on some chalkboard in the back of the schoolyard.
Well, what is, one of our very own VIPs, Georgia, is an active table tennis player, and she will be participating in this event.
So I want to say good morning to Georgia Isaacs as well. Georgia, good morning to you. Of course, a good friend of mine. I want to share the friendship. I'm going to share the friendship also, Lady Elise.
You're going to share it?
Yes, sharing the friendship, of course, table tennis, and we are going to be having that one, as you say, tomorrow, this evening.
Yes.
It's this evening, all right.
Yes. Let's try go out and attend. It's going to be a wonderful experience. Let's go and support that one, Mikey G.
All right, like you, like me, I want to say thanks to everyone who have joined us this morning for this morning's experience right here on Flashpoint. Has been a Wellness Wednesday with a difference. So much packed in this morning's episode of the breakfast show. I want to give thanks to those who produced the show, and of course for our listeners, viewers, and our audience on radio. Yes, our VIP members, good morning to you wherever you are this morning listening to Flashpoint. Have yourself a Flashpoint day. What good?
Yes, and remember to join us this evening for Conversations After Dark with Mario, 10 p.m. tonight on our web radio, www.flashpointmedia.ky. Have yourself a wonderful day, everyone.
I wonder if Mario going to talk about the Santa Claus coming down the chimney. Do we have chimneys in Cayman though? Alright.
Yes, we do.
We are going to be finding more about that later on. Have yourself a Flashpoint day, guys. Thank you. On behalf of myself, Mikey G, Lady Elise, and of course our news anchor, CoraleeKaren, yes. Of course, Dr. K was presented this morning so eloquently and so precisely. Knowledge over knowledge. Thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful time. Catch you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. We'll do it all over again for you.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries. We'll make
First a number.
Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, and we'll all sing better outside. Just us in the sky.
Edwards, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. You know, wherever I travel around the globe, I have access to Flashpoint Radio, and so should you. Flashpoint Radio